Hi, today is February 28th, 2017, and this is a Swede Speaks. Earlier this evening, I read an article about what's happening in Sweden when it comes to crime. And right now, I am not thinking about the no-go zones in the cities of Sweden, but here now, I want to talk about rural Sweden. In Dalsland in Sweden, which is situated to the left of the biggest lake in Sweden. I will include information on that in the information box below. Don't worry. Anyway, in the area of Dalsland, which is a historical province of Sweden and a pretty large area, there is one police car. Because the authorities cannot afford any more than that, or they don't prioritize any more than that, because they have prioritized elsewhere. The money went to something else. And that's what this really comes down to. What happens in Dalsland, and I bet that it happens other places in Sweden too, but now we're talking about what happens in Dalsland. In Dalsland, criminal gangs from, for instance, Eastern Europe, people who have easy access to Sweden because of the free movement of people in the European Union. They move to Dalsland, they buy a house or something like that, or they rent an apartment, I don't really know, but they move there and they start committing crime. And I would guess that they know that in the rural areas of Sweden, it's not very much police, so it's easier to get away with things. And this is an example of how Sweden has turned into a reversed night watchman state. I mean, I was a libertarian when I was in my 20s. I'm not anymore. Now I'm a conservative, a traditionalist, but anyway. And libertarians would discuss the night watchman state. The idea that the government should only defend its citizens against foreign enemies, like attacks, military threats, and against domestic criminals, people who would threaten your person, your life, your property, and so on. But that would be it. That the government should provide defense, police, courts, and well, that's about it that the government should do, according to kind of a puristic libertarian idea. An even more puristic idea in one way would be the anarcho-capitalists, but hey, that's not what this video is about, so I'll try not to digress into that right now. But anyway, what Sweden is doing, what the Swedish government is doing, and what Swedish politics has turned into is the reversed. Because I still think that the most important thing that the politicians, that government and authorities should do, first of all, the borders need to be defended against attacks. Then crime needs to be beaten. I mean, you need to have police officers and so on, and courts. And I'm not a utopianist. I don't think that politics can solve all the problems in the world, because human beings clearly cannot create the perfect society. That's why I'm not a liberal or a socialist, or even a libertarian, because they have this idea, many of them, that they're free economy, and I like free economy. Anyway, but they have this idea that this will solve all problems you could think of, more or less, and of course we can't, because human beings cannot create a perfect society, a utopia. Only God can do that. But anyway, so let's take some examples of what taxpayer money goes to in Sweden. and maybe just a few. For instance, in Gothenburg, taxpayer money went to a project where they were supposed to import camels to Sweden, and this would somehow help with integrating immigrants from countries where there are camels. Integrating? When did camels become a part of the Swedish nature? Okay, I know that camels are in Australia, but at least there they got the climate for it. You don't really got the climate for that in Sweden. I mean, this to me it rather seems like they would be meddling with government-sponsored segregation. And there are many other things, like how the Swedish government is handing out money to mosques, to mainstream media, to cultural associations, to all sort of stuff that I don't support. And you could discuss some of the things of what the government really should be sponsoring. But at the same time, they can't even defend the population living in the country. They should be ashamed. This has to stop. And if nothing else, the rest of the world needs to learn from Sweden to see how not to handle things. And that's what I have to say about this right now. I would like to thank the people who have donated to this channel through PayPal and through Patreon. And if you like this channel, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. There is new content more or less every day. I am thinking of taking Sundays off because, you need to rest one day every week. So I'll try not to produce so much on Sundays, but if something happens, I'll probably just have to do it anyway. But anyway, there are new content every day, so something should interest you. So please subscribe, please like my videos, please share my videos on social media, and if you have something to say, you could comment. If you like my videos, you could also recommend them to people. And I would also like to encourage you to support this channel. That could be done through PayPal and through Patreon. And no amount is too small or too large. This is a Swede Speaks. Have a nice day.